Hey, what's up, guys? Houston here. Someone asked me, is it worth getting the Navy Federal American Express card? And is it related directly to American Express? All right. And then they asked me, how do I get it with bad credit? Okay. Well, I'm going to tell you how to get it with bad credit. But one thing I want to clear up, the Navy Federal American Express card has nothing to do with American Express. Okay. And a lot of people, they're under the concept, oh, I got a Navy Federal American Express. No way related, except for it carries the American Express brand. Okay. So in terms of the benefits that like with a regular American Express for is like upgrades on hotels and car rentals and things like that, car protection and stuff like that, it doesn't have the same protection as with American Express. All right. So that's number one. Number two is, can you get the Navy Federal American Express with bad credit? Absolutely. Okay. And here's the thing about it. Most people are not aware of. One, you do have to have a high internal score. All right. The reason is because Navy Federal goes off of relationships, right? And so here's something that a lot of people are not understanding. If you have a recent charge off, then even though you may have a high internal score with Navy Federal, they will not product exchange you. Okay. Even if you like had a secured Navy Federal in rewards, I'm gonna go back to the American Express, but something that you have to understand is that like a lot of people, they complaining, I had the Navy Federal secured card and it hasn't switched over yet. Again, if you have any recent collections or recent charge off, that may be the reason why. Okay. Other than you going inside the app and updating your rental as well as your income. Okay. Now, going back to the American Express, the Navy Federal American Express, here's the thing about it. The internal score matters. All right. So granted, Navy Federal pulls TransUnion FICO 9. Right. But at the same time, that internal score is more important than your regular credit score. All right. So that means that having a direct deposit, having a flagship checking account. Now, here's the thing about it. You don't necessarily have to have a flagship checking account. However, if you have a regular checking account with Navy Federal, then they want you to have at least 20 transactions monthly. That's equivalent to the flagship checking account. Okay. And most people are not aware of that. Now, here's another thing in terms of having a savings account, then also having like a small CD, this also influences your internal score as well. All right. And I made plenty of videos about that, but those are some of the things that people are just not aware of. Now, here's the thing about it. If you have bad credit with Navy Federal and you're trying to get this American Express card and things of that nature, your account usually has to be at least 6 months or older, okay, in order to get this here card. So you're bypassing the Navy Federal cash rewards. You're going to this here card. However, this is my thing about it. And if you've been following me, I said this in other videos. I would not even go for this card. All right. Now, people may go for this card because they give you 3% back on groceries and restaurants and stuff like that. Whoop-a-doo, However, this is the reason why I myself would not go for this card, because you can't liquidate it. That's right. You can't liquidate it. So what do I mean by that? All right. So with Navy Federal, if you get one of their prepaid cards, their Gold card, it will allow you to liquidate like the Visa and MasterCards, but it will not allow you to liquidate the American Express card. Okay, the only way for you to liquidate that Navy Federal American Express card, you would have to go through Melio, or you would have to go through plastic to liquidate it. However, with the regular Visa MasterCard from Navy Federal, you can use their Gold card and you can transfer the balance of your credit card onto that card and use it like a regular debit card and then pull money off of it or whatever, right? But that's one of the reasons why I tell people, hey, I would not go for that card. All right. Now, here's the thing about it, that trying to get this card, not only, like I said, with the internal score, if you have bad credit, you can get it. Now, if you want to try to avoid the hard pull and get this card, then you have to do a product exchange, okay? And usually with doing a product exchange, it's usually after 91 days, all right? Or you can just apply for it in the app to do a pre-approval to see if you're pre-qualified for it. And they may do a hard pull on you. More likely they will do a hard pull on you. But if you do a product exchange of it, then that's a difference. All right. Now, some people say, well, they don't allow you to do a product exchange. I have not heard that. I have not experienced that. Some of the people have actually just did a product exchange for it. However, again, I myself, I would not have that card, again, because it doesn't allow you to liquidate. Now, some other cards that are pretty easy to get if you have a relationship with that institution is like with NASA Federal Credit Union. You can do a pre-approval with them as well. Now, here's the reason why I say that. With NASA, because they use a Vantage 4. All right, so your Vantage 4 is comparable to your FICO 9 scoring, meaning that you can have the authorized users on the credit file. You can have the rental payments. You can have the utilities, okay, on the credit file. And I've told you guys how to even age your credit files, right? So with that authorized user, that's another insight that really helps a lot of people. So if you need help with authorized user, if you're signed up with Navy Federal and you're trying to get higher limit credit cards, adding on a high limit Navy Federal card that's been with them for a long time. Now, here's the thing I'm gonna tell you. I just said it has to have been with them for a long time. If you have somebody that's just been approved for a Navy Federal credit card, okay? They're brand new, and they just got the Navy Federal credit card. I don't care if it's over $25,000. All right. So what happens is that you can add them on as an authorized user, but it does not influence the credit file, okay? Because it's a new account. So that's the reason why it has to actually be an aged account, so the history can transfer over. All right. Now, most people are not aware of that. And I see it on a lot of credit files when I'm evaluating credit files to help people get funding and stuff like that. Making sure that it's certain type of authorized users that only help age the credit file. And Navy Federal is one of those authorized users. All right. Now, again, going back to NASA, NASA is very easy to join. They do pre-qualification, but again, the positive thing about it is because it is a Vantage 4. Now, also with PenFed is very flexible as well. Now, here's the thing about it. Where Navy Federal 550, 580 credit score, PenFed, you have to have at least a 600 or higher. Usually averaging 600, 620 is the lowest credit score they'll go, right? Now, here's the thing about it. They use Equifax FICO 9 for their credit cards and stuff. So it's still a FICO 9 scoring. So the authorized users that you add on to the file, the rental payments and stuff, that's what helps it, all right? Now, there's one thing that I did mention, some of you all may not have caught on to, is when I told you guys utility bills, okay? So with Identity IQ, they have utility. You can add utility bills and stuff on. It's through my FICO. my score, excuse me, my score, not my FICO, but my score. And so what ends up happening is they'll backdate the time frame from when you have been paying your utility bills, okay? And that will help aid your credit file too, all right? So I just wanted to answer a few questions about the Navy Federal American Express. Again, guys, please keep in mind that the reason that I'm not biased on that card, or I guess I am biased on it, on not having that card, is that because it's again, it's you can't liquidate it. Other than those two other through Melio and plastic, but being able to actually liquidate it much easier through the Go card is one of the best ways to be able to get access to that cash capital when you need it. All right. So I hope that this helps you. If you have any other questions about business credit funding, personal credit funding, removing negative items off the credit, click the link in the description. Schedule a one-on-one consultation. Thank you.